Okay, so get ready for some Icelandic folklore, everybody. We're diving deep into the Yule Lads today.
The Yule Lads.
Yeah, they're kind of like Iceland's answer to Santa Claus.
Okay.
But, with a little bit of a mischievous twist.
Right.
We're working from the Yule Lads of Iceland, a Christmas tale. Great book, by the way. Really fascinating. So we're going to kind of unpack how these guys went from being kind of spooky, kind of enforcers to, the Yule Lads that we think of today who bring gifts and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, well, what's so fascinating about them is that they really reflect, their story reflects so much cultural change, historical context, and just that love of storytelling we have as humans, especially around the holidays.
Yeah, yeah. So it's more than just a jolly Christmas tradition then, right? These guys, these Yule Lads, they've got some serious history behind them.
Oh, absolutely.
Like this book's describing them as starting out like really kind of spooky.
Yeah.
Not exactly who you want to bump into on a dark winter night,
No, definitely not. In the early days, they were really tied to this, well, she's a pretty fearsome character, this troll mother, Grilla. And the Yule Lads were kind of like her enforcers, I guess you could say.
Oh, wow.
Making sure those kids were behaving themselves.
Oh, I bet that worked like a charm. So it's like these cautionary tales woven into, the whole fabric of winter.
Exactly. A little bit of fear to keep everyone in line.
But something changed along the way, right? Because they went from boo to ho, ho, ho.
They did. It's really quite a transformation when you think about it. It's this gradual shift that reflects how what we believe and how we think about things changes over time.
Right.
The book mentions a turning point kind of around the 19th and 20th centuries where they kind of softened a bit.
Okay.
Less menacing and more mischievous, really.
More pranksters than punishers.
Yeah.
So we've got these 13 Yule Lads,
Yeah.
right? Each one with their own, little quirks and their own, mischievous personalities.
Yeah, they're quite the crew.
I'm ready to meet these guys. What kind of antics are we talking about?
Well, you've got your sort of classic troublemakers, like Sheep-Cote Clod.
Okay.
He harasses the sheep. You've got Gully Gawk, who likes to steal milk straight from the cows. It's kind of fun, right? There are these, mischievous figures you find in a lot of these old folk tales.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
It's interesting how these stories, tap into those rural fears, right?
Yeah.
Because, back then, losing even a little bit of your milk or having your sheep bothered, that's a big deal.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Livelihoods at stake. But it sounds like some of these Yule Lads developed a little bit more of a taste for a more, refined mischief.
Yeah. Like what?
Like moving into the kitchen a little bit. You've got Stubby, who just loves to bang on pots and pans.
Oh, my gosh.
And then there's the duo of Spoon Licker and Pot Licker.
Of course.
Each with their own, let's say, passionate relationship with food.
Okay, those are funny.
Right.
I could just imagine, the parents are just trying to, make dinner.
Chaos. Absolute chaos.
And these two are lurking about.
Lurking.
Any others that have that kind of, kitchen connection?
Oh, yeah. Bowl licker, right? He hides under the beds. He's waiting for that opportune moment to lick any bowls left unattended.
Oh, bowl licker.
Yeah.
Classic. And then you've got Door Slammer, right? He's less about the food. He just likes to cause a ruckus.
Keeping everyone up at night.
Yeah, exactly. He sounds like my kind of guy. Although I imagine parents probably weren't too thrilled with Door Slammer back in the day. Those all sound actually pretty harmless.
Yeah.
Any of these Yule Lads have a little bit more bite to their pranks?
Well, you've got Skyr Gobbler. He devours every drop of Skyr, which is a traditional Icelandic yogurt.
Okay.
So he can be a menace.
Yeah.
And then you've got Sausage Swiper.
Sausage Swiper.
Yeah. He's a menace to the local butcher, right? With those expensive tastes.
No, I bet.
Yeah.
I'm kind of thinking now, I wouldn't want to leave my fridge unattended with these guys around.
No.
Because they really do run the gamut from mischievous to, slightly concerning.
Right. And we're not done yet.
Oh, there's more.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
You still got a few more to go. We've got Window Peeper.
Okay.
Always lurking about, hoping to catch a glimpse.
Okay, that one's a little creepy.
It's a little creepy, but, it's also kind of fascinating, right?
Yeah.
Because it speaks to, not all mischief is created equal, right?
Right.
Sometimes it's about pushing boundaries, satisfying curiosity.
Yeah. It's amazing how, each of these Yule Lads, they have this, distinct personality. You know what I mean? I could just practically picture them, like going around the countryside and causing mayhem.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely.
We've still got a few more to get through, though.
Yeah.
Right? What other kind of Yule Lad shenanigans are in store for us?
Well, you might want to keep your pantry under lock and key because we've got Door Sniffer.
Door Sniffer.
He's on the loose. He has a nose for baked goods, and he's not afraid to use it.
Oh, my gosh. Stealing bread? Such a quirky crime.
Yeah.
Like, of all the things to steal, does the book give any insight into, like, why they chose these particular pranks for each lad? You know, it's so funny you should ask that, but unfortunately, no. It doesn't really go into the, like, the origins of each prank. But, I mean, it's fun to kind of think about,
Yeah.
Like Door Sniffer, for example. Maybe it reflects, a time when bread, a true staple, was even more precious.
Right.
And so it was like a serious offense. Or maybe it's just, a testament to that Icelandic sense of humor, just finding the amusement in the unexpected.
Yeah. I love that. Like each of these Yule Lads is like their own little puzzle.
They are.
Okay, we got Door Sniffer, the bread bandit, on the loose.
Yeah.
Who else joins this rogues gallery?
All right. Get ready for Meat Hook. He's taking things to another level, literally.
Okay.
He uses his hook, right, to snag meat from unsuspecting households.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, Meat Hook's definitely my new favorite.
He's a little more daring, right?
Yeah, he's got like skills,
Yeah.
like a little adventurous.
Mm-hmm.
It makes you wonder if like back then people were kind of secretly rooting for him to like get away with his little meat heist.
Right, like, go, Meat Hook, go.
Exactly. Okay, so that's 12. Who's our final festive fellow?
Last but not least, we have Candle Stealer,
Candle Stealer.
as his name suggests, right? He likes to pilfer candles, leaving a trail of darkness in his wake.
It's interesting like how Candle Stealer, he's almost like he embodies that sense of like dwindling light as we head towards, the shortest day of the year.
Oh, that's a really, really good point.
It's like stealing away those last remnants of daylight.
He is. And it speaks to how these Yule Lads, even in their mischief, they can be tied to these natural rhythms of the season, right? They are, in a way, personifications of winter itself.
I love that. From milk bandits to candle snatchers. These Yule Lads are quite a crew.
They really are.
But it's amazing how they go from these like menacing figures to these like almost, I don't know, kind of endearing characters.
I know, right?
But we've only scratched the surface here, right? Because we talked earlier about how like this whole Yule Lad tradition blends like Iceland's pagan and Christian roots.
Right.
And that's fascinating to me.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
Can you unpack that a little bit more for us?
Yeah, so, I mean, one of the things that's so interesting about Iceland, I think, is that, like a lot of cultures, when Christianity arrived, it didn't just, like, wipe out the older belief system.
Right.
There was this real period of blending, like, weaving together different threads to kind of create something new.
So it's less about one set of beliefs replacing another and more about, like, finding a way for them to, like, coexist.
Exactly, a little give and take.
So how do the Yule Lads fit into all of this?
Well, their origins, are definitely rooted in those pre-Christian traditions. When you go back to those early stories about Grilla, the troll mother, these mischievous sons causing trouble, it speaks to a time, I think, when people felt more connected to nature, like those darker, wilder aspects of winter.
Right. Like you got those long, dark nights, the harsh conditions. It's easy to imagine those stories about like trolls and creatures kind of lurking about.
Oh, absolutely. And those primal fears, they were very real.
Oh, totally. But then things shifted.
Oh.
Right. So how did Christianity influence the tradition?
Well, as Christianity became more established, there was this kind of natural, I guess, impulse to find ways to align existing traditions with this new faith.
Right.
So instead of being banished, these figures who were once associated with mischief, even fear, they were gradually integrated into this Christmas season.
So it's like instead of like banishing these old ways, they're like, let's just make it part of this new celebration.
Exactly.
That's so clever. Like it's such a smart way to help people like transition.
Absolutely. I mean, it speaks to how adaptable folklore is, how it can evolve, take on new meanings. And now today you've got these Yule Lads, still mischievous, but ultimately harmless, just adding a little flavor to the holidays.
Yeah, they're kind of fun.
They are fun.
It's a good reminder that like, traditions are never really static, are they? Like they're always evolving.
Always.
Changing with the times.
Reflecting new values.
I have to say, this has been so fun, like learning about the Yule Lads. It's given me like a whole new appreciation for Icelandic folklore, you know?
Oh, good.
And how these traditions, they can change and adapt over time. It's really cool.
It is really cool. What I find so intriguing is that it reminds us that the lines between myth and history and tradition, they're often really blurry.
Oh, totally.
Makes you wonder, what stories are we telling today that are going to shape, like, the traditions of tomorrow?
That's a great question.
Right.
That's awesome. And how are they going to reinterpret them? Yeah. That's a great question to leave our listeners with. Well, thanks for diving deep with us into this whole world of the Yule Lads.
Yeah, my pleasure.
It's been a blast.
It's been fun.